Today we're going to take a look at how we take a ordinary cedar fence board that we get at any home center and turn it into a wonderful project like this. This is a Christmas lantern. This one happens to be of a Christmas tree. It has a removable top and allows you to get on the inside. I had put battery operated flickering tea lights on the inside. You wouldn't want to put anything, of course, really burning on the inside because it's made out of wood. This one's not finished. There's a benefit to it not being finished. It gives off a wonderful cedar aroma, but you can paint it, you can stain it, whatever you like. But I am sure that your friends and family would love to get a handmade project like this from you for the holidays. So why don't we go ahead and get started and see how it's made. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use the joiner to make the board smooth on one side, smooth and even and level. Takes about 3 times to run it through to accomplish that with one of these rough fence boards. So what you see me doing here is running the board through to make sure that we get a nice smooth surface. And once we get that smooth surface on the bottom, we're going to go ahead and joint the end. Because really, a jointer, the way it works is you have to use 3 different tools when you are milling a board. You need a jointer, a planer, and a table saw. And you'll see me using all of those. So I'm just about done here with the 3rd run on the edge, and the edge is nice and smooth. So now I have a 90 degrees on the bottom and on the edge. So now I'm running it through my thickness planer. Going to get the board down to its final thickness, and at the same time it's going to smooth that second side of the board. It takes about 3 times as well to run it through. And you see me doing that here and adjusting it about a 32nd of an inch each time to take a little bit more off as I put it through. And as we take a look at the board here, look at that. It's nice and smooth. Now it's time to get that final edge on the table saw. The jointed edge is up against the fence and on the table saw. And now I'm finishing and getting the board to its final width. Now the board is fully milled. I'm going to go ahead and break it down into the pieces that I need for the project, and I use my miter saw station for that. What I did is in the beginning I took a measurement to find the clearest part of the board because I want that to be the front of the lantern where I'm going to be cutting in the design. And so what I do is I try to identify where that's at and make a note of it, or go ahead and get it cut out right away. And then once that's done, I can go ahead and break down the rest of the board. Now I'm at the table saw milling down the boards to their final dimensions. And once that's done, I have all the pieces I need. So I have the front and back, the sides, the top and bottom. I have the topper and then the inside insert piece. So now it's time to go ahead and cut the design into the front of the lantern. And in order to do that, I need to prepare the board by using some double-sided tape. This tape works really well. It's sticky, but it doesn't leave any residue. That's what's really nice about it. So you go ahead and I put it at the top and the bottom. You really don't need a lot of it. So I just put it at the top of the bottom, and then here I kind of noticed that, wait a minute, I want to flip it around because I know the design I'm going to be cutting out, and I don't want that knot to be in the design. So here's the template, and I'm going to go ahead and tape that template down to the board because I'm going to be using my router to cut out the design. And this is, of course, the Christmas tree design. This is the one I'm doing for this project. So I'm lining it up just right so it's centered on that board because that's going to be the front of the lamp. So now you take a look at my router, and I have a bushing and an 1/8 inch router bit. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and plunge that into the workpiece. And we're going to go ahead and move the router around. I've sped this up quite a bit, but really you want to move slowly. The cedar is really soft and it's fragile. I've ruined a few fronts trying to go a little bit too fast. And I've noticed that I need to go in the direction of the router bit, and I'm able to control the router just fine. It's such a soft wood. So first I cut out the tree, and then I cut out the star. So there are 2 different parts of the template. So now I need to remove the the template here coming up, and I use a plastic putty knife because I don't want to dent the wood or damage my template, and it comes off pretty easy, and as you can see here, the tape comes off really easy, and I have a cool little ornament. Now, of course, there's a lot of sanding that's involved, but there's not much here, just getting up the little pieces of fuzz that you get from using the router. Now we're going to go ahead and put the box together. I'm using some waterproof glue. So since it's cedar, this can go outside, and so I figured I'd use waterproof glue in case anybody wants to do that. So I'm going to put on the back first, fasten the back to the sides. I'm using those small 23 gauge brads. It's really just to hold it together till the glue dries. They don't really serve much function from a structural standpoint. So now it's time to put the front on, spreading that glue out. You have to put a lot of glue on. The cedar really absorbs that glue. I line things up pretty good here. It doesn't have to be perfect. You want the front and back to overlap just a hair from the sides, because when you sand it, it's going to come out nice and smooth. So there's the basic box. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a chamfer on the top and the bottom, and then also the topper, and I just moved my table saw blade to 45 degrees, and then I set the width to 1/4 of an inch less than the total width of the piece, and then that way I get a 1/4 inch chamfer all the way around. Works really well. So now more sanding. Here we go. Sand, sand, sand. And I'm sanding at the speed of light. There's really quite a bit of sanding if you want these things to come out nice. But that's okay. It's a soft wood, and it's just time consuming. Now I'm putting the topper on the top. Going to get that thing centered just right, and then use a few brads to hold it into place while the glue dries. And once that's on, I'm going to go ahead and put the little insert piece that holds the top on so it doesn't slide off. Just kind of make sure, eyeball it, make sure that it's centered. Once it's centered, I can go ahead and just put it on the top, as you can see. More sanding, yep, more sanding again. And as I said, on the sides there, you can just sand down anything that's sticking up, and it comes out nice and smooth. So sand, sand, sand. All right, now all we have to do is get the bottom on, and this project is complete. Now you've seen how to turn an ordinary cedar fence board from your local home center into a nice project like this, a Christmas lantern. It really wasn't very difficult. It took a few steps and some elbow grease when it came to the sanding, but I'm fortunate enough to be able to have the tools to be able to mill down the lumber to a nice smooth state. You could make this from the unmilled lumber. It'd be a little bit more rustic, but I'm sure it would come out wonderful. And why don't you go out and get yourself a fence board and make this for somebody you care about. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you could give me a like, that would be wonderful, and please subscribe to my channel. I've chosen two different finishes, what I'm calling natural and rustic oak. The natural finish has no finish at all, and the rustic oak is basically stained and has 2 coats of satin polyurethane. Either way, they make great Christmas gifts.